Welcome to Letters to Louie with Abby Algiers. Hello, Abby.
Hi, Sally.
We are going to be recording this letter to Louie on Dr. James Algiers' birthday.
Yes. Yeah.
He would have been 98 today.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'm really glad you're carrying on the tradition. And this piece that we're going to read about is about his life and how appropriate for the day of his birth.
Great look back.
Yeah, let's read that and
Okay.
we'll talk about it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Dear Louie, I recently learned that the medical college was awarding me a Distinguished Service Award. In preparation for the event, the organizers asked me for a CV. Instead of using the traditional resume style, I answered in a narrative manner. Take a look if you like. And where have the years gone? Jim. A life, a career, a look back. I was born on March 14th, 1926 in Hartford, Wisconsin, and have lived there my lifetime. I was born in the hospital where, later, for 40 years, I practiced medicine, 6 years in general practice and 34 years in internal medicine. I attended grade school at St. Killian School, from which I received the 2005 Distinguished Graduate Award. I graduated from Hartford High School in 1944 and immediately entered the U.S. Navy, spending 10 months on the island paradise of Attu in the Bering Sea as an electrician and teletype repairman. I'd always desired to study medicine and was disappointed in being directed to an electrician school rather than into the Navy Medical Corps. Their loss. On discharge, I enrolled at Marquette University for pre-med and later was accepted at Marquette University School of Medicine, from which I graduated in 1953. Following graduation, I interned at St. Joseph's Hospital, Milwaukee, and there I was introduced to the concept of internal medicine under the instruction of Sam Rosenthal, MD, the most intuitive practitioner I've ever met. The day after receiving my license, I took over an active general practice from a physician in Hartford who'd been called to active duty in the Navy. He left, and I started my practice, seeing 30 patients on the first day, and it never let up for 2 years. I enjoyed general practice, but it was overwhelming for a young family. After 2 years, my partner returned, and we practiced together for 4 more years. Practicing in my hometown was of greater benefit than some of the distractions. Over the years, I knew Jimmy was replaced by Yes Doctor. However, in the late 1950s, it became evident that medicine was changing. Changes in diagnostics, multi-channel blood testing, changes in X-ray assisted diagnosis, and changes in therapeutics all spoke of ongoing transitions in medicine. I was convinced the future belonged to postgraduate preparation, especially in internal medicine. I applied to Dr. Engstrom, chairman of the Department of Medicine, for a position in the internal medicine residency program, and was accepted on the day of application when I stated that the only thing I took from medical school, besides a diploma, was the AOA key. What I didn't know for years was that Dr. Engstrom had received a cancellation from an accepted resident that very morning of my walk-in application, and I relieved his discomfort and search. My wife Dorothy and I had 4 young children and a mortgage, and I decided to commute from Hartford to the Medical College Hospital for the 3-year residency. I commuted for 3 years, did internal medicine consults on weekends, and thankfully after a while that stopped after 3 months. I chose a residency at Milwaukee County General for many reasons, chiefly for convenience and the opportunity to work on free weekends. Somehow it all worked out and we remained married. After residency, I opened a solo practice and practiced internal medicine for 6 years, always looking for a partner with whom to establish an eventual multi-specialty group practice. Internists were difficult to find and almost impossible for small towns. I kept close contact with the medical school and with Dr. John Peterson and Dr. Jim Cerletti. I served ward rotations of 3 months at Medical County General for a number of years and annually taught, always enjoying the association of the faculty. Dr. Mike Malley joined me, and we built a multi-practice association, which eventually consisted of 14 doctors in a city of 8,000. To keep professionally and intellectually stimulated, we developed an annual doctor's bag night when, in the early 70s, Parkview Medical Associates initiated the first postgraduate sessions for physicians in Washington County. Our audience was 30 to 75 physicians, nurses, and ER techs. Most of the time, the faculty members of the medical school, specialty-trained cardiologists from St. Luke's, the Medical College General, and a few nationally known physicians furnished by the drug pharmacological houses would serve as the faculty for a 4-hour session, one fall night each year. We continued the night by developing programs for the nursing staff and high school coaches and the developing emergency staff of the community. In this venture, the ER training took a lot of time, as did the development of the first intensive care unit in the county. Many hours were spent training the ER nurses, the ICU nurses, and training ourselves. A remote monitor was set up in our office so that accurate monitoring of cardiac patients might be extended until adequacy of nursing observation was obtained. We reduced mortality from 40% to 18% by treatment of monitored arrhythmias. The Hartford Lions Club, of which I've been a member for 45 years, served as an ICU sponsor and eventually subscribed to donations of over $125,000. I received the Melvin Jones Award for Service, and in 2008, the annual Volunteer Award in Hartford from the Chamber of Commerce. Throughout the years, the association with Marquette University School of Medicine and Milwaukee County General Hospital provided us with a source of physicians for consultation and became our referral center. The contacts grew, and our constant referral patterns were primarily with the medical school. In a small town with an active medical center, be it ever so small, one is never unrecognized. Some of this is good, sometimes not so good. But recognition always results in improving self and civic agencies. This constant social service involvement and recognition was and is stimulating and rewarding. It resulted in many positions on boards, church boards, and bank boards, and a number of my associates served long tenures on school boards. Civic clubs asked for participation, and coincidentally, the first persons trained in CPR were from the Hartford Lions, personally trained in post-meeting sessions. One of the community personal highs was the leadership in fundraising for a defibrillator program. This leadership role resulted in the Hartford Police Department being probably the first department to have an AED in each squad car. This was initially financed, sponsored by the Hartford Lions. I spoke of the need, raised funds, taught classes, and was thrilled 7 or 8 times during the first year by reports from the police who documented the saves as they responded and heroically defibrillated their friends and neighbors. In 1990, I retired. I was tired and discouraged. I'd been summoned to Madison by some state agency. The review board informed me that I owed the state about $20,000 in Medicare overcharges. It seemed I was doing too many EKGs, 3.4 per 100 visits, too many house calls, and too many night visits to the nursing home. After demonstrating one of the earliest epic systems for office practice computer documentation and computer records, and obtaining absolutely no help from the State Medical Society, I quit. The charges were false and the service was deemed exemplary. I knew a mistake had been made from the first day of retirement. Again, I sought out the medical school, saw Dr. Jim Cerletti, and was hired as a part-time assistant professor in medicine. I worked 3 days a week for 10 years in the outpatient departments, in the medical clinics with medical students, in the Department of Medicine, and enjoyed it thoroughly. During this time, Bill Schultz was hired, and I learned to know him and became associated with the Alumni Association. I think I planned 2 alumni seminars, which were great times. However, I continued to be active with the Medical Center Foundation of Hartford and chaired the development of an adult daycare center, the 1022 Club. This is an adult daycare center for patients with early Alzheimer's disease. It provides a service to the perpetual family caregivers of patients with cognitive advancing problems. The foundation chairman and I raised $500,000 for the center. It was paid for when the 1022 Club opened. I chaired, participated, and managed a Gold Bug golf tournament for the hospital foundation. The tournament has raised over $750,000 for the hospital foundation. The local television channel has been a source of ongoing presentation of articles that I have written on the history of medicine in Hartford and interesting cases I've seen over the years. We've also prepared 20 or so programs on medical topics and recently embarked on a program called Letters to Louie, a series once a month where I read a letter and speak to the medical content. One event during the past 5 years stands out. I came onto a supply of over $100,000 of durable orthopedic appliances and outdated, oversupplied supplied articles. With the help of 10 friends, all seniors, we received, identified, sorted, and distributed a semi-truck of equipment to the free clinics of Wisconsin. It's great fun and real work. One might ask if practice in a small community might be stimulating and rewarding. I would answer yes. The service rendered is most rewarding, and family involvement produces rewards for all. One can be a man for all seasons, a professional, a friend, a benefactor, a person of service, a participant, and a husband and father, and still maintain an association with his alma mater for his own benefit and that of the medical school. Since 2000, I've been retired, but am still active in the community. The Lions, the Christmas Committee, golf, and especially family keep me busy, but not all the time. I still awaken in the AM in a dream state, treating diabetic ketoacidosis at 5 in the morning. The association with the medical school and the Alumni Association has continued to be an anchor to the reality of medical progress and an aid in the prevention of early cognitive disease.
When I would have your father in for Letters to Louie or the medical topics, he was very energized every time.
Yeah.
You know, that we had whatever if discussion topic it was, and you being able to share his life here and everything that he's done to the community and impacted so many different areas of our community, not just the medical community. It's incredible.
Right. And, I know that when he was I can assume that when he was writing it, he wasn't writing it as kind of bragging rights or anything.
No.
I know that he wrote it with pride and just to get others to give back to.
That's where I was going to go next with this conversation, is that is exactly what motivates people. When you hear a story like this and the amount of giving back, to a community
Right.
that served him well in his practice. So it was well-rounded.
Right, like where he secured the orthopedic supplies and got 10 of his retired friends. I
Right.
remember that. They just spent hours and hours and, went to clinics. I mean, they just did that, you know?
Right. And I hope it motivates our viewers to think of how they can give back and what impact they have on society.
Right. Yeah, take a minute to reflect back and see how much of an impact a person has made.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming in.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And to our viewers, as always, thank you for watching.